All right. Hello, everyone. Got some news for you. The WB might split and sell. Peacemaker building Checkmate. Gunn calls Supergirl a space adventure. And Jon Bernthal's Punisher special sounds raw and emotional. Will crown Marvel's most powerful family. Peek at a hellish Hellboy family feud. Rank the most disturbing Jokers. And pitch Martian Manhunter as a DC horror lead. We're going to sift through DC's number ones, relaunch gossip, and close with Peter versus Miles Powers. Let's roll. And brought this show and this channel is brought to you by Ron's Comic Closet. He's the sponsor of the show. And if you use code IHAVEISSUES at checkout, you'll get 20% off your first purchase with Ron. He's got new releases, back issues, collectibles, and things like that. So go check out Ron's Comic Closet. Link is in the description below. All right, first story we got today. Even with Superman and Peacemaker season 2 hitting wins, Warner Brothers Discovery is splitting and could be up for sale, which puts James Gunn and Peter Safran's 10-year DC studio plans in the danger zone. With every shakeup, there's always that possibility. As Joshua M. Patton of CBR explains, CEO David Zaslav is dividing WB into streaming and studio, film and gaming, and global networks, linear channels. History says big corporate moves equal chaos for DC. The AT&T sale that preceded Snyder's removal from Justice League, Discovery merger that canceled Batgirl, all that fallout is the cautionary tale. Two potential buyers are being floated for the studio half, Paramount Global and Netflix. Paramount is backed by David Ellison. They're eyeballing Warner Brothers for its IP and studio space. Netflix says they're builders, not buyers, but as the streaming wars big winners, they want the infrastructure. The fear is simple. New owners cut costs and reshape creative. Under Paramount, Ellison could pull DC Studio closer to his own creative control. Under Netflix, Gunn's slower story-first approach might clash with a model driven by volume. There is a time buffer. The split won't finalize until spring of 2026, and the sale could take another 2 years, potentially into 2028. Patent points using this window to make DC Studio bulletproof with wins like Supergirl set for June of 2026. In the confirmed DCU slate, Paramount or Netflix, who would you trust with DC? Sound off below and with your pick and why. And then Matt Morrison over at Superhero Hype is talking a little bit about Peacemaker season 2 finale and set up a new the new team that was set up there called Checkmate, formed by the 11th Street Kids and some fed up Argus agents. The vibe, a force for good that's willing to get his hands dirty, like Peacemaker's violent for peace, and a gateway for niche heroes the DCU's already seeded in comics like Mr. Terrific and Maxwell Lord. Morrison's 5 recruits that he thinks would be tailor-made for this crew. I got the list for you right here. First one on the list is Arsenal, Roy Harper, a moved from Speedy to DEA agent, and then into Checkmate, sharpening his weapons game. Then we got Huntress, Helena Bertinelli, lost her mob family parents and doesn't share Batman's no-kill code, making her an ideal recruit. And then we got Fire, Barrett's Banella da Costa, who is an ex-model / government spy in the DC comics and can conjure green flames and often operated solo in Checkmate, which fits this setup. And then there's Manhunter, Kate Spencer, a delusioned federal prosecutor who hunts supervillains by the book she writes herself. She'd worked with Checkmate while serving as Wonder Woman's defense attorney. Perfect energy for Peacemaker and Vigilante. And the long shot with history, we got Green Lantern Alan Scott, a JSS founder who once served as White King overseeing intel when the team reformed under the UN. Bringing him in signals legacy and structure. And who joins first? Arrow, Flame, or Lantern Ring? Drop your fantasy casting for each pick. On the last one, I don't know if that's going to be a possibility because I believe there's been talks that one of the things that they're going to be investigating in the Lanterns TV show coming up is the possible murder of Alan Scott. Just that's what I've heard. So if you've heard otherwise, please let me know. All right. And then next we got and the next story we got for you is from Kathleen Booth over at bleedingcool.com. And she reports that James Gunn called Supergirl a space adventure that's like Guardians. He stressed projects like Supergirl and Lanterns are part of the DCU tapestry, but also their own thing. With distinct identities, even though he's not directing, his fingerprints are on the approach. This Kara Zor-El is deliberately more hardcore. Her backstory is brutal. Unlike Superman's loving Earth upbringing, Kara spent her first 14 years on a shard of Krypton, a rock, watching people die in terrible ways before arriving on Earth as a young girl. That lens changes everything about how she sees heroism. The film, shortened to Supergirl in June of 2025, is directed by Craig Gillespie with Miley Alcott as Kara. That was confirmed back in January 24. And Mattis Schoenaerts playing Kern of the Yellow Hills. Jason Momoa has joined as Lobo, which is going to be really big. And David Krumholtz and Emily Beachman as Kara's parents. And we got a tease at the end of Superman in a poster about how Kara is going to look in this. In the movie, the Supergirl movie is going to open in June of 2026. We got a hardcore Kara and Cosmic Road movie. You in? Tell me your one character you want Kara to meet first. And then we got from Ray Fluke, also at Bleeding Cool. They've reported that Marvel Studios' Brad Winderbaum told NYCC at the New York Comic Con 2025 that Jon Bernthal's Ronaldo Marcus Green penned the Punisher special presentation has wrapped and it is in editorial where they're editing it. He called it a beautiful piece, incredibly acted by Bernthal with a tone that's really emotional and wild. And they even tapped Robert Ellis, There Will Be Blood, as cinematographer. And I'm probably butchering the names, but you can click on the link in the description to go to these articles. Jon Bernthal, who co-wrote with Ronaldo Marcus Green, said, "Frank Castle is in my bones and in my heart." He pitched a vision that spoke to the military community and first responders. Marvel told him to keep bringing ideas, and he worked closely with veterans, including his friend Nick, to shape it. Bernthal's originally turned down Daredevil Born Again because the earlier plan felt like a disconnected weekly procedural after Marvel's creative overhaul brought in Dario Scarpagna. Bernthal helped craft Frank's mental and physical state. He credited Scarpagna, Phil Silva, and Eric Lindy, and trainer Nick another name I'm not going to be able to pronounce. He credited all of them with help shaping his portrayal of Frank. Clear intentions beats empty fan service, a Punisher that hits the hearts and the gut. Are you ready for this version? It should be interesting. It should be wild. Let's get in. Let's go. All right. And then this article is pretty interesting. If you know anything about the mutants, that might make sense to you. And we're talking about Marvel's most powerful family. Maha Arsalan from CBR makes the case the Summers clan is the Marvel's most dominant dynasty, eclipsing the Richards and the Xaviers. It is rooted in Scott Cyclops. Their line sprawls across the multiverse and keeps producing heavy hitters. It begins with Christopher and Catherine Summers, the couple that was abducted by the Shiera Empire. Christopher escapes and becomes Corsair after the Emperor Dane King kills Catherine. The Shiera is obsessed with the Summers genetic spark, engineering crossbred mutants. The long-lost brother of Vulcan, or Gabriel, It was ripped from the wombs and artificially aged, and Adam X, created by mixing Summers' DNA with Denkin's with the Emperor's. And then you got Mr. Sinister orchestrating the Summer Gray combination for power, which comes up with Rachel Summers, an Omega level mutant tied to the Phoenix Force. She is the alternate timeline daughter of Jean Grey and Scott Summers. And then you got and she's tied to the Phoenix Force. Then you got Nathan Summers, or Cable, who has immense telepathic and telekinesis via the Madeline Pryor clone twist. And she's a clone of Jean Grey that ends up marrying Cyclops. And Cable, or Nate Summers, is their baby. And then you got Nate Gray, an artificial creation from the Age of Apocalypse storyline that is the genetic child of, or genetic clone child of Cyclops and Marvel Girl, who helped stop Apocalypse. And with at least 3 Omega level mutants in this orbit, you got Rachel, Vulcan, and Legion. No, never mind. Skip Legion. That's Xavier. The Summers dynasty sits atop the heap. If one Summer leads the next MCU era, who's it going to be? All right. And then this is a pretty cool one. Got some independent news here. And Mike Mignola's team has teamed up with his brother Todd for a fiery 2-issue miniseries called The Crown, A Tale of Hell, a hellish family reunion centered on Hellboy's brother and their long imprisoned mother. Mike says the brothers are writing about brothers. And Mike says the brothers writing about brothers angle made the process almost too easy and fun. Warwick Johnson Caldwell provides covers, his Hellboy universe debut, and with variants by Mike Mignola and Bruno Seeley, it places intrigue and betrayal all the way down. Todd calls it a day in the 16th century life of Hellboy's Hell family, set in the bowels of Castle Azul, where a secret crown is being forged for a new king. Dad, uncle, and half-brothers lock horns for sleeping Satan's throne, a prize that brings out every dark ambition. We revisit Hellboy's half-brother, Gammon and Lusk, introduced in Hellboy in Hell in 2012, and they fight for pandemonium and their mother's return after a century in prison with schemes of her own. Plus, someone entirely new enters the universe. Issue number 1 lands February 11th of 2026 from Dark Horse. Successions, but in hell. Who do you think wins? And then over at DC, this is a DC article. Sean Leos from comicbook.com says the mainline Joker isn't even close to the worst. The Dark Knight Returns Joker goes catatonic, then wakes to murder a studio audience and his psychiatrist, later poisoning a troop of Boy Scouts. That's a sadistic animal there. The Flashpoint Joker, who is Martha Wayne, carves a permanent smile on her face after Bruce's death, is institutionalized, escapes, and kills Jim Gordon after tricking him into killing Harvey Dent's daughter. The New 52 Joker escalates things in Death of the Family. He has Dollmaker cut off his face, disappears for a year, then returns to kill cops and threatens the entire Bat family. Runner-up is the Batman Who Laughs, Bruce Wayne infected by Joker toxin, who kills the Bat family, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and then spreads multiversal terror. It took teaming Batman with the Joker to stop him. So you mean to tell me the Batman who wipes out the entire family and the rest of the Trinity is runner-up? All right, let's see the top spot goes to Absolute Joker, whose ultimate form remains unrevealed. He starts as one of the world's wealthiest men and is expected to transform into a monstrous nightmare in line with other absolute Batman villains like Killer Croc and Mr. Freeze. All right, I can see this. Which Joker keeps you up at night? And from the pictures that I've seen of the Absolute Joker, that would be the one that would keep me up at night. Just saying. All right. And then Marcus Himmelach, I probably butchered that name, from comicbook.com, is presenting an argument about how DC should bring back a true horror line, but he thinks the star of it shouldn't be Saga of Swamp Thing or Hellblazer, but it should be Martian Manhunter front and center. Martian Manhunter debuted in Detective Comics 225 as an undercover alien detective, which suits slow burn mysteries, the engine of great horror. Jon is a perpetual outsider and one of the last Martians, always shape-shifting to blend in. And his very first appearance on Earth was so terrifying it caused a heart attack. That outsider lens is perfect for tracking things that shouldn't exist in normal society. The cornerstone of horror unease. The absolute Martian Manhunter reimagining already proved the tone. Jon as a disemboweled consciousness partnering with a human detective to battle humanity's inner darkness, making him a horror lead dodges the too powerful problem by pitting him against insidious, ethereal threats, like a serial killer whose mind he can't read. Would you buy this series day one? And then Rich Johnson from Bleeding Cool. Here's DC is lining into some multiple blind bags or multiple #1 relaunches after Batman #1 blew past 500,000 orders with a strong promotional push. Even gimmicks like blind bag variants, DC sees a clear path to big numbers for fresh #1s. Ironically, the strategy spawned from creative delays. While Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb worked on Hush 2, Soul of the Dragon, they've declined a new Batman #1 to stay within the ongoing series. But Hush 2 keeps slipping, scrambling the schedule. Chip Zdarsky had to extend his run to bridge the gap. And Volume 5 issues start dropping before the final chapter of Volume 4. So yes, 5 issues of Volume 5 might beat Volume 4 finale to the shelves. Given Batman's #1 success, expect significant first issue pushes through 2026, including #1s for characters such some would call B-listers under DC's next level. With outliers like Zatanna Mini reportedly outselling Superman, the Absolute line, meanwhile, doesn't need gimmicks. It's already hit 6-figure sales. Which title would you actually buy again at a #1? And I know that they have a whole slate of new issue or new series that they're going to be releasing on the DC Next Level. All right, and then we got some Spider-Man, a little Spider-Man story here, a little discussion. Marcus Hemlack from comicbook.com is breaking down 5 big power differences, and Miles comes off as the most versatile Spider-Man. Both Spideys share the core set: wall crawling, agility, spider sense, but Miles' Oz formula adds unique tricks. Miles' signature is the bioelectricity or venom blast, amped up strikes, even energy constructs like blades or web strands. He can flip invisibility by bending light around him. Stealth on another level. He also trained an advanced radar sense by focusing a haywire spider sense, letting him see skeletal outlines of threats when he concentrates. Peter still holds 2 big edges from his radioactive bite: radiation resistance. He survived a UFO's blast, and being toxic to the inheritors like Moron. The wild card, the Oz formula, hidden resurrection side effects in the Ultimate Universe. Since Peter and Norman came back after death, there's a definitive chance Miles might be immortal. Unproven until he dies, but it is comics, so you know nobody stays dead. Which team are you on? Team Peter or Team Miles? Who wins out for you? All right, and then last we're going to finish up with our cover price daily Shakers report, and we got some big ones to talk about today. And this is the biggest one I've seen so far since I've been doing this. We got Amazing Fantasy 15 from 1962, the first appearance of Spider-Man or Peter Parker Spider-Man in a CGC 5.0, sold for $42,000. That is the biggest one I've seen so far since I've been doing this, like I said. And then we got Fantastic Four #5 from Jack Kirby from 1962, sold in a pretty significant grade of a CGC 8.0 for $20,400. And then we got another Fantastic Four. This is a big list today. Fantastic Four number 12, another Jack Kirby from 1962, and a CGC 9.0, so for $13,200. Wow, got some big money on here today. Then we got Showcase number 4 from 1956 in a CGC 3.0, so for $10,600. And we got another Fantastic Four, issue number 6 from 1962, and so in a CGC 9.0, so for $9,000. We got some big money today. And then we got another Amazing Spider-Man annual issue number 1 from 1964 in a CGC 9.0, so for $8,100. And then another Fantastic Four issue number 50 from 1966 in a CGC 9.4, so for $6,600. And then we got Journey into Mystery issue number 85 from 1962 in a CGC 7.0, so for $5,520. And then we got Ghost Rider Volume 1, issue number 1 from 1973 in a CGC 9.8, so for $5,500. So got some big money going on there. And then last but not least, we got the Mutants. We got X-Men Volume 1, issue number 7 from 1964 in a CGC 9.2, so for $5,495. Did any of those sales surprise you? They didn't really surprise me. I mean, granted, they are the highest I've seen on this list, but those are premium grades for premium books commanding premium prices. All right. I just want to remind everybody that this is October. It is Comics Curing Cancer Month. So we got a lot to promote here. Comics Curing Cancer, C3, help raise money for the American Cancer Society to fight cancer, the ultimate supervillain. And at the end of this month, October 24th through the 26th, we have the Comics Curing Cancer auctions going on through all different YouTube channels. And I have the schedule for all those channels, or for all those streams right here. Here we go. All right, and just a reminder that on this Sunday we have Comic Channel Origins, where I sit down with comic book content, or comic book YouTube content creators who have comic book channels about comic books on YouTube, and I talk to them about how they started their channel and have grown it. And this Sunday I am sitting down with Lunch Money Comics and going to be talking to him about how he's grown his channel from 0 to where he is now, which has over 20,000 subscribers. And so I think it'd be a very interesting read, or not read, but a very interesting chat. I'm looking forward to getting some information about how to do things from Mike over at Lunch Money Comics. So I think you would enjoy that also. So please check that out. If you've had fun hanging out, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss tomorrow's Comic Issue Daily. I'll do a better job, I promise. Share this episode with a friend who loves comics, and drop your comics and drop your hottest take from today's stories in the comments. I'll read them all, so I'll see you next time. Have a good one, people.